Tonight, NPP National Executive Committee and National Council pulls the trigger. They prefer or refer all petitions against Kenneth Agyapong to the party's disciplinary committee for action.
We had petitions from some individuals, party people, and then also even some members of parliament. So, constitutionally and procedurally, National Executive Committee and National Council referred the matter to the disciplinary committee, which is chaired by Adwoa Safo, former roads minister. And we have also given them timelines. We've said 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, they must present their report to the National Executive Committee through the General Secretary. So we are waiting for their work. We have referred all the petitions to them. We have given them 2 weeks to report back to National Executive Committee and National Council.
We're live at the Alisa Hotel for more on this story that is developing within the NPP. What do the party leadership seek to achieve on this? And again, what do political watchers make of this particular action by the party? This is Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. And Top Story is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, on Cape Coast, on ATL 100.5 in Cape Coast, and on Radio Max in Takoradi. Now, news just coming in from the NPP's National Executive Committee and National Council meeting indicates that the former flag bearer aspirant of the party, Kenneth Agyapong, has been referred to the disciplinary committee following petitions brought to the party against his conduct. You will recall that some people have recently filed petitions against Mr. Kenneth Agyapong. One of them is, a member of TESCON. He's actually the Deputy National TESCON Coordinator from New Job and South constituency, Charles Opokun, who's accusing Mr. Agyapong of repeatedly making public statements against fellow NPP members and opposing official party positions in ways that have, quote, brought the image of the party into disrepute, unquote. Now, Mr. Opokun, who says he has served the party for 14 years, argues that such conduct violates Article 3 of the NPP Constitution, which requires members to, quote, be truthful and loyal to the party and protect and promote the good name of the party at all times. Now, he singled out Mr. Agyapong's recent criticism of the NPP minority caucus over the Appiah military hospital, alleging the former Asin Central MP used, quote, outright lies and false fabrications, unquote, to undermine the party's effort to get the government to complete and operationalize the facility. Today, at Alisa Hotel, where the party met to decide on the future of the party, they have, we're told, referred this particular petition and some other petitions against Kenneth Agyapong for the disciplinary committee to look into. Let's listen to Henry Nanabuachi, who is the national organizer of the NPP.
Had some individuals, party people, and then also even some members of parliament. So, constitutionally and procedurally, National Executive Committee and National Council referred the matter to the disciplinary committee, which is chaired by Adwoa Safo, former roads minister. And we have also given them timelines. We've said 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, they must present their report to the National Executive Committee through the General Secretary. So we are waiting for their work. We have referred all the petitions to them. We have given them 2 weeks to report back to National Executive Committee and National Council.
I mean, I'm wondering, that means that for NEC and the National Council, you must find at least some level of merit to not throw it away and refer it to this disciplinary committee, right?
I mean, once they are petitions, what is important is that you have to refer whatever the merits are. So refer the matter to the disciplinary committee. The most important thing is that the report from the disciplinary committee will be a subject matter for NEC and the National Council to consider afterwards. And that is where we can really speak to it. So, as it stands now, the position is that we have referred all petitions received regarding Honorable Kenneth Agyapong's comments to the National Disciplinary Committee, And we have given them 2 weeks because we wanted to really make sure that in 2 weeks we deal with this matter. So in 2 weeks, National Executive Committee will receive the report, and then we will again convene a meeting for us to discuss these matters.
How many petitions are we talking about?
So that's Henry Nana Boakye, briefing journalist on the development, speaking to Papani actually there on these petitions that have been brought against Mr. Kennedy or any Agyapong. Well, Nana Papani actually himself is joining us from the meeting grounds now as we speak. Papa, so what more can you report for us on this particular matter?
You may have heard Nana B speak to Sound just a few minutes ago. It sounded very calm, very collected, but the overall ambience around this particular meeting was far from that calm. There were quite a few people, let me say, very much countable individuals that were outside of the auditorium that were here with just one message. They were here to let their National Executive Committee and also their National Council understand that they didn't want Kennedy Agyapong to continue to be in the party. I spoke to them earlier, and their point was simple, that some of the words that he may have said, it's not palatable, and they don't think that at this moment in time, even the party needs such a person to still continue to hold himself as a member of the party. They wanted the decision at the end of the day to be that possibly he will be sanctioned, but they are not getting that. What they are getting now, from what we've heard from Nanabi, is that there's some level of referral that has gone to the disciplinary committee. I also managed to find out where the petitions were coming from. The party was tight-lipped about where the petitions are coming from, but we are told that at least it's coming from 2 groups of people, from members of parliament and also from members of the party generally who are outside of parliament. So we know that at least parliament has something to, the minority in parliament has something to do about this. It was quite a very difficult thing. Almost 5 hours of National Executive Committee meeting together with the council meeting. But eventually, the decision is what they have done. They have given the committee 2 weeks to come up with its findings, and then they will forward whatever decision they settle on to the party through the General Secretary Brace.
I mean, the parliament side bit is quite intriguing. Do we know the number of MPs who possibly appended their signatures to that petition coming from parliament?
So it was a question I actually put to the national organizer of the party, Henry Nana Boakye. He told me that it's not something he will want to disclose yet, but we are told that at least a petition had come from members of parliament of the NPP to the party with regards to the recent comments of Kennedy Agyapong. The exact issues they are stood on and what they are also asking of the party, Henry Nana Boakye did not disclose that to me. However, they said that this committee is expected to finish their work in 2 weeks, and when that findings come to the party will take steps to implement the findings of this particular committee's work.
But the aim of the group was that for Kennedy not to be a member of the NPP again.
Yes, so they were here cladded in red armbands, some on tied around their head, with this huge banner that read that Ken must go. There's a picture of Kennedy Agyapong on it. I mean, it was so heated almost outside here that when the minority leader, Alexander Fenyomarkin, actually came out of the auditorium much earlier in the day, he had gone to his vehicle, and these gentlemen were chanting, Ken must go, Ken must go, and they went closer to him. In fact, to the extent that when he sat in his car, they thought that he was leaving the premises, so they actually went to sit on the floor in front of his vehicle. It got chaotic because some level of force had to be used to remove them so that the minority leader could move his vehicle. But yes, that's exactly what happened. But that has since been resolved. These gentlemen, I mean, in fact, when the meeting ended, I was not looking for them, but they had all left amicably without any much more noise after the particular incident. But their expectations, which they are not going to compromise on, is that something must be done to Kennedy Agyapong.
Okay.
For that must show some level of discipline within the chain of the party.
Okay, I'm grateful to you, Papani. Actually, Michael actually is my colleague at this particular meeting, but we've also been joined on the line by Henry Nanabuache, national organizer of the NPP. Henry, I'm grateful to you for joining here. Now, how does the party view this development? Kenneth Agyapong is a colossal personality in your party.
Yes, good evening, and let me refer you to the party's constitution, which is supreme and which is bigger than any party member. Article 4, which talks of our discipline and grievance procedures. Article 4, clause 3, and then 4. It says that the National Disciplinary Committee shall have jurisdiction in all matters affecting discipline at the national level with respect to national executive officers and key members of the party, including ministers and deputy ministers, former ministers and deputy ministers, for members of parliament, former members of parliament, patrons, founding members of standing committees, and National Council members. So what National Executive Committee and National Council did today was to refer all matters or all petitions which was brought against Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong to the National Discipline Committee. They have jurisdiction over these matters. Their report will be forwarded to the National Executive Committee and National Council through the General Secretary of the party.
But I guess even before you wait for the result, the party itself has a certain position on these utterances by Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, not so?
Kojo, I do not think that the National Council and National Executive Committee will assume any position before forwarding this particular matter to the Discipline Committee. Right? Procedurally and constitutionally, what the National Council did today was in tandem with the party's constitution. What was maybe a challenge the Council raised was to make sure that we give timelines to the National Discipline Committee, which we did. So in 2 weeks, they are supposed to finish sitting to go into these matters and then present their report to National Executive Committee and National Council.
Is it expected that the committee will invite Mr. Agyapong to listen to his side of the story?
Obviously.
Okay.
I mean, that is the essence of this. We are in a democratic dispensation, and you would have to give fair hearing to all of these, any allegation level against any individual. So that is the essence of this exercise.
In case he doesn't honor the invitation, what will be the resultant outcome?
I think it would be inappropriate for me to preempt the action from either Honorable Kennedy Agyapong or National Council, National Executive Committee, or any party executive. And once I'm an organizer and I'm speaking on behalf of the party at this moment, it would be inappropriate for me to preempt the actions of the National Discipline Committee.
Now, we understand that a petition came from the minority in Parliament.
Yes, it came from the Health Committee, members of the Health Committee, and rightly so. Why? Because they visited the hospital, the regional hospital in Kumasi, the Appiah hospital, and you remember that brought about all of these issues. So yes, the committee members belonging to the New Patriotic Party also petitioned the party, and some individuals as well.
So we are looking at 3-4 petitions?
I will not put any number to it, but I can tell you that at least some individuals who are party members have petitioned, and then also we have received a petition from the minority group belonging to the health committee.
Okay. We understand the minority leader himself was there as well. Was he to plead on behalf of Kenneth Agyapong or something? Was he there to do that?
No, say it again. I think the line was...
So we understand the minority leader was there earlier. And I'm asking, was he
No,
there?
he was there throughout. He is part of the National Executive Committee, and he's also a member of the National Council. So he was there throughout.
Mm. Did he put up any pleadings on behalf of Kenneth Agyapong?
No, not at all. It was a unanimous decision that the matter should be referred to the National Disciplinary Committee.
Okay. All right. We know that you didn't only meet on these petitions. There were other issues of confronting the party that you met on. What else were discussed there?
Oh, largely they were internal matters. You don't forget that we have commenced our reorganization efforts. Already we are the presidential primaries, and we put out the publication indicating that we are starting with the polling station elections and then the electoral area as well. Through our constitutional amendment exercise, we had also expanded the system. So at the polling station, we are adding 2 to it, and then at the electoral area to 5. So we received regional reports from all the 16 regions. So that is an internal matter. And then we have also started with the processes of electing our constituency executives. We open nomination as I speak. Some are even going through the vetting exercise. So we also receive report on that. So largely, the other part of the meeting discussed internal matters.
All right. So is there a date now from this meeting in terms of when the national executive elections will be held? Or that wasn't part of the meeting?
Oh, it was. Don't forget that we put all the timelines out. I mean, we are having the constituency elections next month, in July, and then the regional elections with the branch, the external branch elections will be held in August. The national elections will be held in September.
Okay. Now, so if the committee, after its work, recommends the expulsion of Kenneth Agyapong, would the party go with it?
Oh, I think that, again, you are being preemptive. I think
I'm only asking a question.
That is why I'm saying that you are because see, I'm also speaking on behalf of the party. And again, I'll repeat, it will be inappropriate for me to preempt the outcome of the disciplinary committee. So we are waiting for their report. But they are working for National Executive Committee and National Council. So their report will be put before National Executive Committee and National Council. And we will consider the report.
Now, since these issues started coming up, has leadership extended any invitation to Mr. Agyapong himself to understand what's happening?
Not that I know of, but once you receive these petitions, that is what I've told you, constitutionally and procedurally, you must refer it to the discipline committee. Okay. The only worry was how long, because I know that the party would want to know the outcome of this exercise. That is why National Council and National Executive Committee said 2 weeks given to the National Discipline Committee to finish with their work and forward their report to the appropriate body.
Now, we are all aware that the flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has started some effort to unite all ranks. I mean, what does this do to that particular effort of the flag bearer to try and unite your party ahead of 2028?
I think discipline and unity goes hand in hand. So
no, I'm not talking about the discipline bit. I'm talking about the actions of Mr. Agyapong that they have referred to the disciplinary committee, or that has made the people to write these petitions. What does that do to these efforts by your?
Still, I think that Kojo, these questions might even lead to an answer that will be preemptive. And I've said it before. I mean, the presidential candidate, he is part of the National Executive Committee and National Council. And today, he sat through the meeting, and the decision was that all of these petitions must be referred to the National Discipline Committee. We've given them 2 weeks. So I think that I speak to you all the time. Let's manage for the next 2 weeks. And when we receive the report and a decision is made, it will be communicated appropriately.
But you are the national organizer of the party.
Exactly.
When it comes to activities that would probably disintegrate the party, it becomes a matter of concern to you. These, in one of the petitions, they also refer to the actions by some people to be moving to the base. What is your party doing about that?
I don't understand this question. When you say party people moving to where?
Yeah, because in the petition by the Deputy TESCON coordinator, he mentioned that some activities of the base is also, about the same person, and that they feel that it doesn't help for the party's rebuilding efforts.
Frankly, I have not seen the petition, so I cannot speak to it. And by my training, I cannot even do that. I need to see it, I need to go through it, then I can speak to it. I have not seen this petition. Unfortunately, Kojo, I cannot speak to it.
Okay, all right. But you are sure that your party is united ahead of 2028?
Yes, of course, we are. Yeah, we are very, very, very united. In fact, we are done with our presidential primaries. I mean, we have an internal reorganization ongoing. We are very much on course.
Okay. Mr. Boache, I'm grateful to you for your time here.
Thank you very much, Kojo.
Harry Boache is national organizer of the NPP, speaking to us from this meeting that was held at the Alisa Hotel earlier today, where petitions about Kenneth Agyapong have been referred to the disciplinary committee. We are being told that one of the petitions emanated from the Health Committee of Parliament because of Ms. Agyapong's comment on their efforts concerning the Afari Military Hospital. But this has been Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel, Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, Enjoy a Holy Sleep, and also by Short Pension, Trust into the Future with you. My name is Samuel Brace. Up next is Newsnight.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter, Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello, sir. Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones,
we keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Dana kron kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom
Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to News Night. Tonight, demands for the immediate reversal of the PURC tariff increase intensify as more Labour groups join the minority in Parliament in opposing the utility hike.
18 months into their tenure, Ghanaians are paying 26.82% more for electricity than they were when President Mahama took the oath of office.
Let them reverse because there's completely no justification in the face of low inflation.
We would then have no option than to also add it to our cost build-up.
We'll hear from some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra.
So when they say they are increasing in it, I don't have a problem about it because they are spoiling the water and then the government too is buying the chemical, putting it inside that. It's costly. So who is going to pay? We are going to pay.
If you increase the electric bills or any other thing, then illegality will also be more.
Also, former Member of Parliament for Dom Kwabena remains in critical condition and may be flown abroad for specialist treatment after sustaining gunshot injuries a few days ago.
The worst scenario is that if they tell me today Adwoa is dead, I will not even doubt them. But yesterday it was very bad. She has started swelling.
We have exclusive details as Joy News gains rare access to her.
Also ahead tonight, minority drum bombshell on the whereabouts of former Maslock CEO as the alleged Sedina Tamakloe has not spent a single day in prison custody until yesterday, accusing government of misleading Ghanaians.
We can categorically state that until yesterday, the 24th of June, Madam Sedina Tamakloe was not in prison custody. And so from the 9th of June when she arrived to the 24th of June, yesterday, she was not in prison custody.
Details as they also allege government negotiated to overturn her sentence.
Our intel is also that they have also assured her that whichever is earlier, be it the public pressure coming down or the decision of the court coming out, they are going to work around the clock to have the decision overturned.
In business,
fuel prices projected to witness some significant reduction from next month due to continuous decline in crude prices on the international market.
The latest of these and many other stories are coming up in the next 60 minutes. Feel free to be a part of the show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma. Appiah.
Details shortly.
There are growing calls for the immediate reversal of the decision to adjust electricity and water tariffs upward by the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission. The PRC approved a 3.49% increase in electricity tariffs and a 0.85% hike in water tariffs for the third quarter of 2026. But Guta says the justification simply does not hold.
If you look at the conditions, even regarding the exchange rate has been stable for quite some time now. It's just between April and May that it fluctuated a bit, and then the cedi depreciated just about 4.18%, which we think is insignificant depreciation, and so therefore does not warrant any increment. They talk about inflation. Inflation, by God's grace, we have achieved a single digit of inflation. Inflation as at April was 3.4. It was in May that it rose to 3.7. And so if you look at the difference, it's just marginal. And so therefore, it does not support the reasons that they have to, increase. You see, we don't want to have a situation whereby this price increase will result to price hikes of goods and services, because we know the Ghanaian consumer does not even have the purchasing power. The purchasing power of the Ghanaian consumer is always low. And so things that will result to price increase, we don't want it. That is why we have expressed our displeasure, for this increment. But if they don't listen to us and they go on to implement it, we will then have no option than to also add it to our cost build-up so that we can be able to stay in business.
Well, already resistance is building up in various quarters. The minority on Parliament's Energy Committee are kicking against the move and are demanding the PRC makes full publication of variables that led to the tariff increment. Collins Adumako Mensah is Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee.
This is the latest chapter in an unbroken story of tariff escalation under the John Mahama-led NDC administration. We remember the promises. The NDC campaigned loudly on reducing the cost of utilities, easing the burden on households, and fixing the energy sector. 18 months into their tenure, Ghanaians are paying 26.82% more for electricity than they were when President Mahama took the oath of office. This is a broken promise. Since the NDC government took office in January 2025, Ghanaians have faced a relentless cycle of utility tariff increases. The cumulative data paints a stark and indefensible picture. Quarter 2 of 2025 saw a 14.75% increase. Quarter 3 of 2025 saw a 2.45% increase. Quarter 4 of 2025 saw a 1.15% increase. Quarter 1 of 2026 saw a 9.8% increase. Quarter 2 of 2026 saw a reduction of 4.81%. And the latest quarter 3 2026 has seen a 3.49% increase. Cumulatively, we have 26.82% if you take out the quarter 2 reduction.
Well, the Food and Beverages Association, John Awini, is demanding a halt in the implementation of the adjustment.
Demand for goods and services are already very low, and this increase in the tariffs will go to exacerbate the problem because businesses will have no alternative than to increase prices of the goods. We will have to pass the rate of increment to the consumer, and the Ghanaian consumer will not be able to continue to buy the quantity of goods that they used to buy. And this is going to exacerbate the already slow demand. And this will also eventually affect the rate of tax collection, because as a matter of fact, higher sales will lead to higher payment of VATs and then all other stuff. And if the sales is low, that means that business will not be able to pay the appropriate VATs and taxes that they are required. So we are calling the PRC to reverse this decision. Let them reverse, because there's completely no justification in the face of low inflation, low fuel costs, low the exchange rate being very, very relatively good. They need to have they have no justification to increase it. Let them reverse.
But reactions on the streets of Accra are mixed regarding the decision by PURC to increase utility tariffs. Listen.
For me, I think it's part of the previous government's negotiation with the IMF. And the agreement they made, it was supposed to even be every quarterly. But this government has been able to manage it. So we came to meet a debt. So we have to find a way to clear that debt. I think the government is doing well. So we should commend them. For me, I don't see anything wrong. If we don't pay today, we'll definitely pay tomorrow.
Because of the galamsey and then the chemical that they use to put inside the water. No. So when they say they are increasing in it, I don't have a problem about it. Because it's like they are spoiling the water and then the government too is buying the chemical, putting it inside there. It's costly. So who is going to pay? We are going to pay.
If you increase the electric bills or any other thing, then illegality will also be more, because one cannot stay also without electricity. So it will bring about more illegal connections. So if you want to increase any other bills, you have to look at, are the people willing to afford? Will they get the money to pay?
Those are the views of some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra. Let's go on to Zoom right now and speak to Chonam Akpelo, who is the Dean of the Greater Accra Regional branch of the Association of Ghana Industries. Mr. Akpelo, welcome to the program. We've been hearing from GUTA and other trade unions voicing the opposition against the proposed tariff increment. Is that something that AGI also agree with?
Yes, thank you. Good evening to your cherished listeners, and thank you for having me. So yes, I'd like to begin by mentioning that we're fully aware of the quarterly adjustments in the utility tariff. So this is a situation we're fully aware of. What we struggle to see this time around is the reason for the increment, because all the justification they would typically use for increasing tariffs has not been met. Take the interest rate, for example, take inflation rate, take exchange rate. It is very difficult for us to see why anyone will use these different parameters in determining an increment at this moment. Whilst at it, our view is that both the utility companies, provision companies like the ECG and Ghana Water should rather be focusing on tackling the losses. I mean, technical losses, commercial losses, distribution losses, etc. We are fully aware that these losses constitute about 30% of the overall losses they have to deal with. It appears to us that instead of dealing with their own losses, they would rather have comfort in easily passing out to the general consumers. And this is not acceptable as far as industry is concerned. Because you see, for us in industry, we plan, and we really need time to plan for a year. Look at the different increments that we've been witnessing since January. So if you look at the cumulative effect of increments up to date, it's enormous on industry. And mind you, about 30% of the entire production cost actually is constituted by the cost of power. And in an era of a 24-hour economy, where we are busy encouraging our members to effectively implement the 24-hour program of government, encouraging our textile companies to work around the clock to produce, for the nation, encouraging our steels company. Here we are increasing electricity bill, which will eventually be the most important factor in working in the night. And so we struggle to see the different levels of government's own commitment to ensuring that we implement the 24-hour economy.
We've also been hearing from GUTA and the Food and Beverages Association, who have raised concerns about the knock-on effect on prices of goods and services. I want to find out from you, do you also expect industries to pass these additional costs on to consumers if it happens?
Essentially, yes, because we have to, this cost has to be paid by someone. And it is only natural that under those circumstances you like to pass it to the consumers. But we are also very careful. We are careful because we are competing with folks that are importing most of these products we manufacture from abroad. And somehow, most times their prices are relatively cheaper than what we produce in industry. So there's only so much you can pass on to the consumer. So the overall effect is that industry has to be prepared to take part of the burden of this cost. That explains why a lot of our industry struggle dealing with the increments of utility. And we feel very strongly that the regulatory commission should take a second look at this and revise their note accordingly. Probably focus on the losses that they incur.
We've heard them give the reasons as exchange rate fluctuations, high inflation, fuel cost, generation mix. In fact, they've been defending this upward increment that will take effect on the 1st of July, saying that, for example, somewhere in April, when all these things were going in their favor, they actually reduced utility prices. So really, they are defending it that they have a case because it is affecting the operations. The more reason why they are calling for an increment.
You and I know that inflation rate is low. Exchange rate is fairly stable. Interest rate is relatively lower. So that's what I'm saying, that industry struggle to see their reason. We really struggle. We wish that they can come clearer, because our view is that there's no need to make any increment at this moment, especially that the government seems to be determined to stabilize the economy. They have to be concerned that stability will require that it's done over time. You cannot, on one side, claim to be stabilizing the economy, and then on the other side, increasing utility, which constitutes a significant component of the production cost.
So what alternate ideas would you recommend to the PURC in order to cushion consumers?
We feel that they have to do a lot more in dealing with their losses, because these are commercial losses, technical losses, generational losses, distribution losses. This has nothing to do with industry. Why should we in industry pay for the price of their own losses? So they have to really do something rather than just easily just passing the cost. Everybody can do that, but we expect more from them. They have to do more in making sure that they deal with their losses. And for the consumers, it's difficult. As I mentioned, for us in industry, it's not yet very simple for us to just pass on the cost to consumers, because we are competing with imported products. However, some of the cost has to be passed if that's what it means to survive in the industrial space.
Chonam Akpelo, thank you very much. He's the Dean of the Greater Accra Regional Branch of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI.
Dr. Charles Jemfio Fori is a policy lead, climate change and energy transition at ASAP. He joins us on the phone line as well. Welcome to News 9. Now, PRC has given the reasons for the adjustments. They talk about the exchange rate movement, inflation, and the energy generation mix from an independent policy perspective. Is this latest increase justified? Hello.
Can you hear me, please?
Right. Carry on.
All right. So there has been various indications around tariffs and then the automatic adjustments of tariffs. And I think it has well been explained. And we are very much aware every quarter there is going to be this adjustment based on these macroeconomic indicators. So it is something that has become, some of the issues that we discussed. But again, I mean, listening to what my colleague first speaker talked about from AGI, I think that from a consumer perspective, any form of increment that comes would be inimical to, industry and how they manage their costs and all of that. I will not even take it from the aspect of whether this upward increment is justified or not, because I mean, PRC's own methodology may show that an upward adjustment is necessary. But I think we should take it away from towards the broader energy sector issues that we talk about, how we deal with the inefficiencies of the sector, how we deal with ensuring that the sector works as a business, and how we strengthen the entire value chain. That will go a long way to really deepen and strengthen the power sector. Otherwise, we would always come back to, some of these adjustments, and then the concern and the burden will always fall on the consumer. I mean, think about it. For over 3 years, we've been increasing the tariffs. I mean, well over 100% if you really track the changes between various major adjustments and the quarterly adjustments. But then the systemic issues within the power sector still remains, and those are the critical issues that we have to deal with. Otherwise, the consumer will continue to bear the brunt of the issues, and we may as well have to increase power by even 100% or even 200%, and without dealing with those systemic inefficiencies that plague, especially the distribution aspect of the sector, we would always have to face this, and then consumers and AGI would always have to, complain about these increasing rates.
Who should be ensuring that these systemic issues you talk about within the utility sector is addressed?
I think, we need to find a way to retool the power sector. One of the issues has to do with, Mr. Appiah talked about reducing the losses. The technical and then the commercial losses are huge from the distribution sector. They are huge. I mean, if you're hovering around 29 to 30%, that means that a whole lot of liabilities are being borne by you. Also, the issues around collection efficiency and all of those things, I think that we need to talk about. I mean, we've seen some changes, some progress in terms of how ECG is doing, and in terms of even debt recovery and all of that. But a lot still has to be done to really sustain and maintain this. Otherwise, if we go back to ground zero, then we will still come back to the issues falling on the consumer. So it's both technical, and it's both technical and then also efficiency at the managerial aspect. And those are the things that we really need to deal with. Otherwise, we will still come back here and talk about increasing tariffs.
Dr. Charles Jemfi, thank you so much. He is a policy lead, climate change and energy transition at the Africa Center for Energy Policy.
Let's head to Parliament now, where the minority in the House has dropped a bombshell in the Sedina Tamakloe saga, as they allege that the former Maslock CEO was never in prison custody until yesterday. The whereabouts of Sedina Tamakloe has become a major controversy in the last few days after her extradition from the United States, with some CSOs and the minority demanding full government disclosure of her exact location.
Speaking on Top Story last week, Minister for Government Communications Phyllis Kwachiofosu dispelled concerns that Sedina is under house arrest and not in jail. His position was reaffirmed by the Minister for Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, who insisted that Sedina Tamakloe Ationu is with prison authorities serving jail term. Listen to him speak to Evans Mensah on PM Express last night.
She's in custody.
With prison.
You see, that's a funny thing. When I heard people say this, look, when a judge even sentence an offender, I don't think if in the evening you go to the judge and ask that judge, which prison is that person? You tell them, no. So far I'm concerned, I've given my judgment. You should be with the security people. Look, Evans, I can tell you, and I'm looking right into your eyes to tell you, Sedina never went to any private place. From the day she came, she had been with us, and she's with us, and she's serving her term. If you want to visit her, you can write to the prison service. They will talk to her. If she's interested in you coming, she will let you come. But see, people make it look as if, look, if I go to a prison, if I visit.
But I must know which prison.
No, why should I mean, maybe in Ghana, we take telling people where somebody is serving lightly. Because in America and other well-developed countries, telling people that this kind of high-profile person is here can even lead to the death of that person. So it's for safety.
So is he
but
in
what
prison
I can
or
tell you,
police custody?
I'm telling you that she's with us.
Prison or police?
I'm saying she's with us and she's serving her term. And believe me for that. I heard my colleague, the communication minister, the government communication, repeatedly tell people, look, Sedina is serving her term. Trust us. She is not in any private thing. She's not anywhere. She is with us.
When you say us,
I mean,
you are the boss.
Yes.
Of all the institutions
Yes.
she will spend time
Yes.
with. There are only two places you could be: police custody or prison custody. Where?
Was she not sentenced?
She was.
If you are sentenced, where will you be?
You must be in prison custody.
Yes.
So she's in prison.
She said that she's with us. So why are you in that?
What's the Ankafo?
Is
it not in
48 prisons across the length and breadth of this
Which
country.
of them is she?
I don't have to tell you.
She's
where
in one
she
of the
is.
48
I
prisons.
can assure you that yes, she's with us.
She's not cooling off.
How could that have? Look, is he
in a house?
Believe me. I mean, it says to Jaman Mahama, that won't happen under his watch. No. That will not happen under his watch. That, I mean, because we love her. Yes, she's our sister. But remember, she's serving a term. If she goes to court, the one that she was sentenced together with has been granted bail pending appeal. Are you getting it? If she goes to the court and the court says that, but for us, we are so law abiding, and I can assure you that if you want, and I'm showing you how to visit people, write to the Director General Prisons, saying that you want to visit convict A. What they do is that they refer to that person. Oh, so and so say he wants to come and visit you. Are you willing to receive that person? The person says yes. They will tell you that, okay, the person is in Akuse at this end, so you can now go. Or the person is in this, so you can now go. So if you want to write to the Director General Prisons, and if they correspond, if they talk to her and she's interested in meeting you, they'll give you the baby and they will tell you where she is. But I can assure you that she's with us.
That's the Minister of Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, in an interview with Evan Spencer on PM Express last night. But a while ago, the minority has countered the position of government with wild allegations that Sedina Tamakloe, since she touched down in Ghana on June 9th, was never kept in any jail term until yesterday, June 24th. Listen to Menchia South MP Nana Agyapong, who addressed journalists in Parliament earlier.
I did state that we would do an independent check to confirm the whereabouts of Madam Sedina Tamakloe. Indeed, we have done so. We can categorically state that until yesterday, the 24th of June, Madam Sedina Tamakloe was not in prison custody. And so from the 9th of June when she arrived to the 24th of June yesterday, she was not in prison custody. That is a matter of record. Again, she was only sent to prison custody, as I said, on the 24th of June, 15 clear days. And that was why the Minister for Interior could confidently come out yesterday. And so if you observe, following her return, the communication was by the Minister for Communication. And that had a lot of controversy. And that is why the media kept pressing. And yesterday, when she was admitted into prison custody, that was when the Minister for Interior came out. We can again confirm that she is in the female prison of a medium prison installation. But we are not going to put the name of the facility out. We are not going to put the name of the facility out for the following reasons. One, our intelligence is that she went in under protest because her assurance was that they were not going to have her go into prison custody.
Let's go to the phone line and speak to James Aveji. He's my colleague who was at that press conference. Aveji, the minority also made an allegation of some sort about a negotiation with her. Tell us more.
Well, Gemma, according to the Menchia South MP, the Sedina, prior to her arrival, was assured of an action to, in his own words, overturn her jail term, reason she was not sent to prison until public pressure compelled that government to do so and sending her to a medium security prison as of yesterday.
Our intel is also that they have also assured her that whichever is earlier, be it the public pressure coming down or the decision of the court coming out, she will be made to go out. And so we do not want to put the name of the facility out just to prevent the situation where they will come out and say that because of her security, they are moving her from the facility. We are keeping an eye on the situation and will continue to update the general public on this matter. But we can tell you that she is in prison custody now. She was admitted yesterday, and that she has been given assurances. Another assurance she has been given is that they are going to work around the clock to have the decision overturned. I am a lawyer, and I don't know how it is going to be done. Government is the only one that can say so, but this is the assurance they have given her.
So, James, the minority is alleging that for the past 15 days, she was not in prison custody. Where did they say she was then?
Well, Gemma, Nana Agyapong has not been able to state categorically when I put the question to him because, as the law has it, the burden of proof of any allegation, as they lawyers would say, is on the one who alleges. Instead, he says government must provide details of where she has been if they hold a contrary view to what they are saying. Listen.
I cannot say it. She alone and her abettors, the persons that are aiding and abetting her, are the persons that can say it. I cannot say it. But what is certain is that she was not in prison custody.
I think that
that's
not
important. That would be the argument of government. If you say she wasn't in prison, you should be able to tell us where she was in the last 15 days.
What
Intel didn't disclose that.
What I can speak to are public records. I can't speak to private records, right? And so if government has contrary public record information, government should put it out. We are saying that she was not in prison custody until 24th of June, yesterday, Wednesday. She was not in prison custody. When a person is delivered into a prison facility, there are records. You don't go and then dump the person there. There are records, record trail. And we are saying that there was no such delivery. Again, let me say this. This is also a reminder. We are also conducting investigation into the circumstance of her appeal, because there are doubts of the timing of the appeal, and we are conducting investigations. The appeal records of the court, we are conducting investigations. We know that there are times when spaces are allowed for contingencies and miscellaneous situations, and we have records.
You heard there the MP for Mesia South, Nana Agyapong, who spoke to my colleague James Aveji in Parliament earlier today. Well, let's move on to other stories this evening, because family of the late Apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka says the former MP for Dome Kwabenya, Adwoa Safo, may be flown abroad for specialist treatment as her condition reportedly deteriorates following last Sunday's shooting incident. The comments come on the back of disturbances during the installation of Israel Safo as head of the Christo Safo mission. His sister, Adwoa Safo, was allegedly hit by bullets fired to prevent her from accessing the venue of the ceremony. The family says doctors are considering options in the US, Germany, and Dubai after multiple medical examinations revealed the severity of her injuries. And before we hear from the family, here's a comprehensive report put together by Joy News' Fatal Bayaga, who was among the 5 lucky journalists who were granted rare access to the ward where Adwoa Safo was receiving treatment at a 37 military hospital. Take a listen.
It was a few minutes past 2 p.m. when one of Joy News editors received a call from a man identified as Solomon, who was coordinating what was expected to be a rare media briefing by former Dome Kwabenya MP Adwoa Safo following Sunday's shooting incident. I was immediately assigned to the 37 Military Hospital, where she was receiving treatment. This was shortly after I had returned from the Adenta Circuit Court, where her brother and 8 other persons had been granted bail over their alleged involvement in the incident. Joy News was the first media house to arrive at the hospital. We proceeded directly to the Ya Asantua ward, where she was reportedly receiving treatment. Upon arriving at the entrance, we noticed a few visitors gathered outside. Moments later, Solomon approached us after I informed him of our arrival. According to him, Adwoa Safo herself was initially expected to address the media. However, shortly after we arrived, the plan suddenly changed. He explained that although she had wanted to speak, her condition had deteriorated. When I pressed further, he responded, "How do you expect her to speak in this condition?" He further revealed that approximately 4 or 5 bullet pellets had already been removed from her head. The revelation left my cameraman, driver, and me troubled as we tried to imagine the severity of her injuries. After about 15 to 20 minutes later, other media houses began arriving at the facility. Throughout this period, our cameras remained on standby, ready to capture any development. However, we were later instructed not to record anything without authorization. With the plans altered and confirmation that Adwoa Safo would neither address the media nor allow photographs or video recordings, I continued to push for access. I pleaded with the coordinator, saying, "Please allow us to see her. I just want to say hello and observe her condition." He jokingly replied, "Bad boy," drawing laughter from those around. Shortly afterwards, he entered the ward and returned with news that only 5 journalists would be allowed inside. I was among those selected, alongside Sewa from our sister station, Adom TV. We quietly made our way into the ward. The room was unlike the typical hospital ward where multiple patients are treated at once. It was a relatively small room with only 2 beds. Adwoa Safo lay on the bed closest to the wall. Former Deputy Finance Minister and Member of Parliament for Atiwa East, Abena Osei-Asare, was seated at the edge of the bed beside her. A few other visitors, believed to be relatives, occupied the second bed. At the time of our entry, no medical personnel were present. We were asked to introduce ourselves, which we did, while expressing our gratitude for being granted access. Throughout this period, Adwoa Safo remained silent. She lay flat on her back, her face turned toward the ceiling. She was dressed in a wine-colored top, partially covered by a green blanket pulled up to her chest. Covering the upper part of her head was what appeared to be a transparent medical cap. The hair visible beneath appeared to be her natural hair. I did not observe any intravenous drips or medical equipment connected to her body. However, I must note that the entire right side of her body was covered. Therefore, I cannot conclusively state whether any medical devices were concealed beneath the blanket. After taking in the gravity of her condition, we indicated that we needed clarification on certain matters and preferred that Adwoa Safo respond personally. Her media assistant initially attempted to stop the questioning. However, to our surprise, Adwoa Safo softly intervened. "Let them ask me," she said. Following her instruction, the media assistant permitted only 2 questions. We sought clarification on allegations that she had fired the first shot during the incident and whether she was considering seeking medical treatment abroad given her condition. In a subdued voice, she responded, "I don't own a gun, I don't shoot a gun, and I will never shoot a gun." She further disclosed that according to her doctors, some bullet pellets remained lodged in her head.
The family is questioning why individuals arrested in connection with the incident have not been investigated for attempted murder despite the seriousness of the injuries sustained. Dr. Emmanuel Boachi argues that the circumstances surrounding the shooting warrant a more thorough criminal investigation and has called for enhanced security around the former legislator as she continues treatment.
I mean, in Ghana these days, as we speak now, most of these people that we have them incarcerated now, all we hear is that their statement or their actions were trying to injure the reputation or something of somebody. Just trying to injure somebody's reputation without gun or whatever. The people were even incarcerated. They put them in. No, now somebody who point a gun at you, and not ordinary person. If it's a layman who can just maybe fire you, but because you don't expect, you might mix the bullet. But now these are expert guys. They are trained people, very trained. You know, when they say the videos that are trending around, they were saying that name down. They know they'll mention the person's name before even shooting. Adwoa Safo, Mukunu, El-Militaire. I mean, these are people that we all expected at least. They should at least be remanded for investigation to continue. It's not one bullet or two bullets. It's about 48 different bullets. What again? It means they wanted the girl to be dead.
So I heard Dr. Emmanuel Boache, he is spokesperson for the family.
Augustine Adwoa is a criminal law practitioner. He's joining me on Zoom right now for a conversation on the back of this. Welcome to the program. We've been hearing a lot from the family. It appears that there's a lot of division. Everybody is giving different accounts. I want to pick your assessment of the handling of this issue so far.
Good evening to your cherished listeners. Well, so far, what I've just listened to and then concerning the case is the initial stages of investigation. And I'm sure by the time they finish the investigation, people will be charged with attempted murder. This is a clear case of attempted murder. When you held the gun, pull the trigger, directing it at a human being, but for certain circumstances or interventions, the crime is already committed. Attempted murder. So then now the investigations will determine whether the charge will be attempted murder or murder. We do not pray that she should die. But the circumstances are such that as at now, the facts do not have any problem concerning attempted murder.
Okay.
The facts establish attempted murder.
Well, the family is also not happy with the fact that Israel Akofina was granted bail together with 8 other individuals to the tune of 500,000 Ghana cedis by the police. What do you make of that?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with bail. Now, the Supreme Court has held that every offense is bailable. And once every offense is bailable, then definitely they are entitled to bail. And let me state this. The fact that you are granted bail doesn't mean the case will not go on. I've done cases that people have moved from their houses to court and continue to jail. So it doesn't mean anything. What is important now is the fact that they will be charged with attempted murder. Because from what I just listened to, it is clear that they intended to kill her. When you hold a gun and you just look at where a person is standing and you shoot, it's enough for attempted murder. If it's a warning shot, we all know commonsensically that you point the gun to the sky. But once the gun went to the direction of human being, but for certain intervening factors, the offense is committed.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that education. Augustine Adwoa is a criminal law practitioner. That takes us to business. George Riafe is here with the very latest.
Kenneth, coming up, fuel prices projected to witness some significant reduction from next month due to continuous decline in crude prices on the international market. And government reaches agreement with large-scale mining firms to sell 30% of their gold output to Goldport. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sintex tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
Hello? Charlie, I'm at the library. Why do you keep calling me?
Wait, question. What's the capital of Burkina Faso?
Ouagadougou. Bye.
Wait. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
Venus. Charlie, why all these questions?
See, I'm playing the MTN Swipe and Win promo. I might cash out some cool 1,000 Ghana cedis today.
Hey, 1,000 cedis.
Shh.
Charlie, what's the next question? What's the next question?
Join the MTN Swipe and Win promo today. Answer trivia, earn points, and stand a chance to win 1,000 Ghana cedis every day. Weekly cash of 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000 Ghana cedis. A brand new Hyundai Texan in the first 3 months, and the ultimate grand prize of 500,000 Ghana cedis. Recharge your account to qualify for the daily draws. To join, visit swipeandwinpromo.mtn.com.gh. Download the My MTN app or dial *5030#. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. TNCs apply.
MTN.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Dates?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said, come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Agyapong doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master plan gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands, the Agyapong they will be proud of. Visit woodlands.devtracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208-732-302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
Deftraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Who dey brass? We dey brass them. Brass your teeth. Brass your teeth every day and night. After eating before bed, brass the gems away. The sugar jam, we go brass them. Fufu jam, we go brass them. Rice jam, we go brass them. We go.
When it comes to your teeth, Funnel World Cup. Brush them twice daily with Pepsodent, now in limited edition packs. This advert is FDA approved.
This football season, Star Oil and Point Africa, they give you double. Every Monday and Tuesday, fuel up at Star Oil and get 2 times your bonus points. That's right, double points when you buy quality and affordable fuel from Star Oil. Now, fuel the game for Point Ibeji. From 1st June to 19th July, collect and redeem points in the Point Africa app for amazing rewards, including fuel vouchers, flat screen TVs, PlayStation, Bluetooth speakers, blenders, and food deals. First come, first serve. Charlie, don't just pay. Get point, use point. Download the Point Africa app today. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuel for all. Terms and conditions apply.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, syntax no break. When the rain they fall, still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Sasso, se come tonton preco. Sasso, me se come tonton preco. Edrana drum in your busheshe. Yeah, how can see our name and baby? Minya me pone me sasso spray. Every mosquito start to run away. Come on, tonton preco. Sasso, me se come tonton preco. Come on, tonton preco. Sasso, come tonton preco. Nani sham ne die demo stronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, some industry watchers of the petroleum sector are projecting some significant drop in fuel prices from the beginning of next month. This is based on the continuous decline in the price of crude oil, which has now reached pre-Middle East conflict levels. Benjamin Sia is one of those industry persons that Joy Business has been engaging, and he thinks that things are looking good for us.
If things stay same and the data I'm privy to stay same, the price of diesel, for example, is likely going to reduce by 20% coming next window, because we've seen the price of diesel on the international market slash more than $200 per metric ton, selling below $900 per metric. Price of petrol is still doing around $936 per metric. Also, selling below $1,000 per metric. So all products, diesel, LPG, ATK, petrol, all are going to have higher, very significant decline beginning the first window of July, which starts on 1st July. But predominantly, diesel is likely going to observe about 20% decline, and that means that diesel is likely going to sell around 12 to 18 Ghana cedis per litre.
Benjamin Insia is an energy analyst. Now, Tamale Refinery has completed maintenance works on its machines to aid work on Jubilee crude from next month and other products. President John Mahama discloses when he cut the sod for the second phase of the Century Oil Refinery in Tema today. He said this could impact on product supply on the market.
Plans are also underway to enhance its operational efficiency and increase its refining capacity. And my understanding is that in July, when they have fully ramped up the capacity, they will also receive a parcel of Ghana's own crude. Despite the geopolitical tensions and volatility that have characterized global energy markets in recent years, Ghana has maintained stability in the supply of petroleum products. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, working closely with the National Petroleum Authority, BOST, industry operators and other stakeholders, has ensured that the maintenance of adequate strategic fuel stocks and uninterrupted supply across the country continues.
President John Mahama speaking at the ceremony to cut the sod for the second phase of Century Oil in Tema today. The government has reached an agreement with large-scale mining firms in the country to sell about 30% of their total gold output in the country to the Gold Board. The move was part of efforts to aid local refinery of the precious metal. Now, this represents a 10% increase over the previous deal, and the gold would actually be bought in Ghana or sold in Ghana cities. Sami Jemfi is Chief Executive of Gold Board, and he has been given more details about this deal after a meeting with the executives of the Ghana Chamber of Mines.
And this has come about, as I said, through months of negotiations at the behest of the Minister of Finance, the Governor of the Central Bank of Ghana, and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. So, on behalf of the President of the Republic and the Minister for Finance, I would like to thank the Chamber of Mines for leading this process and for the concessions they have made in helping us reach this agreement, which will go a long way to support gold reserve accumulation, improve economic buffers, and help its economic stability objectives.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi. Now, Standard Chartered Bank is promising an orderly migration of its clients to a new owner. Now, that is if the bank is able to dispose its retail business within the next 2 years. Standard Chartered Bank today announced that it is working to sell its retail business, but will still maintain its presence in Ghana through its corporate and investment business. Meanwhile, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ichwani believes that the current competition in the African continent and Ghana might have influenced the group's decision.
They are facing stiffer competition from the Pan-African banks. You see, when they are speaking, once upon a time, the Barclays and Standard were the kingpins. Now we are talking about Access Nigeria, and Stanbic, and even Zenith. And I tell you, Access is picking on very well. I mean, they sold their assets for them in Australia, in Celerium, to the reason why they want to strategically reposition themselves. It is not just they don't think, they are not making what they think they make because the competition is becoming keener. EcoBank is there, Stanbic is there, and Access Bank is basically taking over their business. So I'm not surprised that they want to exit the retail banking.
Dr. Richmond Itwahini is a banking consultant, and that's all for business on Newsnight.
George, I thought you were going to tell me who is coming for dinner tonight.
Well, on PM Express Business Edition, we are engaging the Executive Secretary of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to as our guest on PMS to talk about the recent hikes in tariffs, the justification, the implications on the market, and going forward, what should you expect? It's at 9 p.m. on Joy News and all our social media platforms. We engage the Executive Secretary of PURC on PM Express tonight.
It's definitely one not to be missed.
Lawyers for Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Entry Bosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, and Akonta Mining Company Limited have filed an application at the High Court seeking a deferment of judgment in the ongoing Akonta Mining criminal case. The request follows the withdrawal of the defendant's previous lawyer, Andy Appiah, who stepped down from the case on June 11, 2026, citing dissatisfaction with the court's handling of proceedings. He had represented Mr. Entry Bosiako since October 2025. Listen to the lead counsel, Samuel Kojo.
Lawyer is involved in helping his client in adjudicating a very good case and prosecuting it well to the logical conclusion. The lawyer leaves the client alone in this professional undertaking. He needs to find another lawyer. And how is the other lawyer going to do a good job if he hasn't gotten the benefit of the proceedings? For him to internalize and see how he'll possibly look at the case again or write a written submission to aid the judge in the judgment that will be the final outcome. So these are strong, professional and technical reasons why we should seek an adjournment. Given the weight of the case, I think 6 weeks will be a very fair time, by which time we would have looked at everything, and then the processes we should file will file. The entire proceedings, we were not part of it. From beginning to end, we need it. And that is what we use to, if you like, educate ourselves, and we act professionally. I do not see how any serious lawyer will be able to come to the aid of an accused person in terms of a credible written submission if he has not perused the record of proceedings.
Now, for the next 7 days, journalist and publisher of the Herald newspaper, Larry Dogbe, will be spending days and nights in jail after he was found guilty of contempt by an Accra High Court. This is over the newspaper's publication of a case involving businessman Kevin Ochre and multinational commodities trading firm Petraco SA. Ken, it has the details of what transpired in court. It can give us the brief.
Well, according to our sources in court today, there was a contempt application filed by Mr. Ochre, the CEO of Springfield Group, an integrated energy company, stemming from a defamation suit the businessman filed against the publishers of the Herald newspaper, Larry Dogbe and others. And after that defamation suit, the businessman applied for an injunction order, which was granted by the court, restraining the continued publication of defamatory statement against Mr. Ochre by the defendants, pending the determination of the substantive suit. And in the ruling, the court, however, mentioned that publications by Larry Dogbe, despite the pending injunction order, which constituted disobedience of the orders of the court and brought the court into disrepute, as well as an affront to the administration of justice. As a result, he has been jailed for 7 years. And Gemma, just before we entered into the studio, an update on that story is that the Ghana Journalists Association has released a statement on it. Michael Ashali is joining us in the studio with the very latest from that statement. What does it say, Michael?
Well, the GJA says it has taken notice of the conviction and sentencing of Mr. Larry Alan Dogbe, managing editor of the Herald newspaper. It continues to say that the association considers this development unfortunate and is closely monitoring the issues arising from the case. In keeping with our mandate to safeguard press freedom and protect the rights and welfare of journalists, the GJA is seeking direction from its legal team to determine the appropriate course of action. While this process is ongoing, we urge media practitioners and the general public to remain calm and exercise utmost restraint in discussing the matter. We encourage all stakeholders to be circumspect in their commentary and to allow the process to take its course. The GJA wishes to assure its members and the public that it will soon communicate its considered position on the matter and any actions that may follow. In the meantime, the association stands firm in solidarity with journalist Larry Dogbe during his difficult period. Kenneth.
Thank you very much. And Larry Dogbe has been sentenced to 7 days in prison and not 7 years. So that's it for Newsnight, though. But before we take leave of you, a few of the messages you've been sending to our WhatsApp platform. Francis from Accra says to the NPP, its call for PRC to halt the increase in utility tariffs is laughable. When it was in power and similar calls were made, did it and PRC listen to the NDC government? If it sits back and allows NPP appointed leadership at the PRC to increase tariffs on unsatisfactory grounds, it could face public backlash. And this one says, I want to thank the President, John Mahama, for appointing Atufosin as Minister of Finance. However, we, the citizens of Ghana, must understand that nobody is above the laws of the country. Therefore, we must all respect and obey the laws of Ghana. August Kwabla Kotoka from Keta says, the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice must ensure that Sedina Tamakloe serves the 10-year jail term handed down by the court. Meanwhile, anybody who plans to cause financial loss to the state must be arrested and investigated promptly. And this one is from Sehuro in Anloga, and it says it is the duty and responsibility of every government to ensure that anyone who has questions to answer before the law does so. My question to the government is Kenneth more powerful than the government of Ghana? I do not understand it at all. Charles from Legon says, the NPP should be the last group of people to comment on the economy. Its comments are nauseating. The minority in parliament should use the same energy to ensure that Kenneth is brought home to face accountability. Nana Ekwamwa Boatin from Ablekuma Central says, sincerely, there is no justification for increasing tariff when exchange rates are stable and inflation is in the single digits. These people in government are now telling us that utility tariffs are being increased because of exchange rate. Sam Bannerman in the USA says, it is only this part of our world where persons sentenced by court for wrongdoing to do the sentencing time in prison ordered by the court will be pampered like what we are witnessing in Sedina Tamakloe. That's all for Newsnight tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma Appiah.
Don't forget to do that too this evening. Brush your teeth day and night.